of the NESG Youth Town Hall, proudly hosted by COP Youth, that's the Community of Practice on Youth. Outside of my role here at the NESG, I also wear many other hats. Some of these include being a member of the World Economic Forum's Expert Network and a pioneer member of the British Council's UK Africa Youth Advisory Board. I am always excited about the opportunity to open up the halls of power to young Nigerians, and which is why we're all happy today to attend this maiden launch of the NESG Youth Town Hall. The NESG Youth Town Hall series was created to bridge the gap between young people and policymakers. And this is a gap that, as we all know, has long limited meaningful engagements and meaningful conversations between youth and policymakers in the country. We hope that through this platform, we can foster direct dialogue, rebuild trust in public institutions, and also ensure that the voices of young people are not just heard, but translated to actionable policies. To kick off this series, we're really honored and excited to be joined by a leader whose life and career embody the spirit of youth-driven impact. I have joining us today Honorable Olamijuwonlo Alao Akala, Member House of Representatives. Honorable Akala brings a rare blend of academic excellence, business leadership, and grassroots governance. He's a graduate of computer science from the University of Buckingham in the UK. He first made his mark in the oil and gas sector as managing director of TDB Oil and Gas Global Services. He also made history in 2017 when he became the youngest caretaker chairman of Olamijuwonlo North Local Government in Oyo State. And in 2018, he was also elected as the 20th executive chairman of the same local government area. His contributions extend beyond public office with a deep commitment to philanthropy, offering scholarships, technical training, and economic empowerment for women and youth. Today, he serves as the federal representative for Olamijuwonlo North, South, and Owerri Federal Constituency, and as chairman of the House Committee on Youth in Parliament, deputy chairman of the House Ad Hoc Committee on Internal Security, and chairman of the Young Parliamentarians Forum, YPF, within the IPU, that is the Inter-Parliamentary Union. As a champion for equity, youth inclusion, and social justice, Honorable Akala is truly a paragon of progressive leadership. And so please join me as I welcome him to today's conversation. And as we know, we'll get a chance as well for those who are either joining us from social media or joining us directly on this platform to share your questions in the chat section. And a few people as well will get a chance to speak up and ask their questions to Honorable Akala. So thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you
welcome,
so much.
Welcome to today's session.
I'm happy to be here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks. So I think we should start with the basic interesting question. I think I know many people would love to know more about you. So can you just tell us a bit more about yourself? What led you to go into computer science and then eventually to go into public service? I mean, you've gone through the whole trajectory of private sector, public sector. What led you on this path, and what does it mean for you to represent the Nigerian youths in the parliament?
Thank you so much, my brother, and everybody online. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope this evening meets you all well. My life story has just been interesting, like every other person. Growing up, I always wanted to be a pilot. I didn't want to be going to computer science. I wanted to be a pilot. But then when I got to the stage when I had to make the choice of either going, then my dad was like, I was the only son then. He was like, how many of you do I have? Pilot care. So he was scared about me going to pilot. So I now thought about it, what's the next thing I could do? And then I love computers. I was so much into computers. I was so much into tech. And that was when tech just started. That's when I just started having internet. Things just started coming up little. So I was really into it a lot. So I decided to go into computer sciences, where I did my first degree in, which is computer information sciences. So after computer information sciences, I served in the private sector. I did my NYC in Jos, my call-up, my 3 weeks call-up in Jos. And I was now transferred to Ibadan, where I now did my remaining year in a private sector. So from there, after that, I decided to go and do my master's. And I was doing my master's in service management. I was very specific in choosing service management because service management, I realized that in everything we do, we require service, either to persons, either to anybody. And at that time, my dad was already deeply into government. And we were doing more like a political family by then. He had already gone through government chairman, he had gone through deputy governor, was already governor. So that was the period I now went to do my master's. So and I realized through that time that service to humanity, service, anything you do, even in selling, even what we're doing right now, we're providing some form of service to people. You understand? So I now realize that in everything we do, we realize we need to understand how we're providing this service, the service quality, how people are perceiving it. So I decided, okay, let me go into this because this is a specific course and it's done in only one university in the United Kingdom. But now I think it's two other, but then it was only done in one university in the United Kingdom. So I went specific for that to study the service management. So I got my master's in service management. And that has really helped me in dealing with people because it made me understand that you cannot deal with Mr. A the same way you do with Mr. B or Mr. C. Everybody has to be dealt separately. And it has helped me in politics also to understand how to deal with people and understand that, okay, you need to deal with people individually, not collectively. Because at the end of the day, everybody has their own different stories and background. You can always compare people together and say, because I've done this to this person, why can't the same thing work for this person? But you need to understand that person for you to understand what you can do for that person. I always tell people that politics is more of listening, not always saying and doing and doing, more of listening. Because the more you listen in politics, the more you're able to get the need of your people. But if you assume you know, you will feel you are doing it and be like, I'm doing that, but these people are saying I'm not doing, but because you're not listening. So that's what it was. So after my master's, I came back to Nigeria. I went into oil and gas for a minute. I was into oil and gas. I had a couple of petrol. I still have them to now, a couple of petrol stations and everything like that. And I was into oil and gas for a minute. Then after a while, I now decided, okay, the service I went into in my for my master's, I was now realizing, okay, I was beginning to tend to people because we're a political family, like I said. And my dad was no longer in service at that time. He was no longer in service at that time. Sorry for that. My dad was no longer at that time. So I now said, okay, how can I continue this, helping people, trying to get the outreach to be wider, able to attend to people's needs, able to attend to people's. Okay, the best way to do it is through politics. It's through being in a position of power to be able to get needs done, get things said and get it done, because you're able to pursue it, and that's what really drove me into politics. I said, okay, let me just join my brand there, and I decided, okay, the best place to start from was grassroots. To start from the grassroots, to understand the people, to understand the people you really want to serve. So I now decided to go into become a local government chairman then. And the journey to my local government chairman was a different journey entirely. Because when I was supposed to become local government chairman, may so rest in peace, Governor Jimobi that time, I went to meet him direct. That, okay, so sir, this is this and this and this and this and this. And I gave him points why I can do that, why I can do this. I went prepared with a full spreadsheet, told him why I did. I said, okay, no problem, we'll get back to me. So like after a year was when he now go back to me, and I said, okay, no problem. He will see what he will do. Maybe I should do the caretaker first, and he will say, no problem. I was so glad and happy. I now called my dad and told him, okay, Governor Jimobi called me and said this. And my dad got very angry. He said, no, never. Why? Yoruba, it's not your turn. What do you mean by that? It can never happen. I like, no. I'm not. He said, that's something I'm calling you to tell you what happened. That I was called, though. I've not collected anything. I've not said yes. I've not said no. I'm not telling that, governor called me now and he said this. Then he said, no, he must not. He's not never. So So when he now called the phone, I now called all the people around him. I started calling his aides, started calling his advisors, his trusted people beside him. I know that okay, he listens to, and I started convincing those ones why we have to work together. That okay, many people have worked for us, they betrayed us, many people have gone. Let's try and stay inside and see what we can do. I was able to convince them finally. So when the time came for the screening, the list came out. My name was on the list. He was not in the country, he was in London. I was in Ibadan. When the list came out and my name was there, that's how he called me. I said, what do I mean by that? That he has warned me. I said, I didn't collect it, that I didn't know, I'm not the one. He said, you will call all, he not called the phone, he not called all his trusted people, his advisors. As he called the first person, that, where are you? I said, he's in Ibadan, he's in Olamijuwonlo's house. So he said, what are you doing there? I said, he's following me to screening tomorrow. He said, so all of us are here, like almost 6 of us are here, and we're following him to screening tomorrow. So are you sure? He said, yes. That is what he said. Okay, no problem. That was how he agreed for me to do that local government chairmanship. I play the politics game to make sure.
even with your dad, it has to be political.
I had to play it. I'm sure he didn't want people to be like, okay, he imposed me on them. I think that's what he was feeling then. He didn't want to. So he didn't want to make it seem like maybe he imposed on them, or so maybe it was just, he was just being careful. Politics is a game where you have to make sure that you don't wrong the smallest person in politics can be the most important person to you.
Yes.
You understand? Your leader can be a welder in politics.
Amazing.
Your leader can be a carpenter.
Yeah, it's really good to hear this backstory. I'm sure you've probably not shared this in many forums. So like very interested to see how the family connect, everything has led you here currently. Thank you. Thanks a lot for sharing that. This is a follow-up question now. Do you sometimes feel the responsibility, seeing the family you're from as your current status in the House of Representatives, do you feel the responsibility of your family, your dad, and just that need to do really, really well, being in your current position?
Even if I don't feel the need, my brother, I'm being reminded every day. Every day I'm being reminded. There's no way I will go to you just to your father. You have to do like your father. So I'm always reminded constantly. So I have no choice but to strive and try and do good or do better. Even if I don't do better than he has done, at least I should not do less than what he has done. You get? I just try, because even if I'm not feeling it, I'm being reminded on a daily basis that your father did, and it's even as a son, as a child, when you go to places and people, all they have to say is good things about your father. You have no choice but to try and say, okay, you have to try your best to ensure that you do not stain the name or make anything. You have to try and push up the legacy and maintain the structure which he has left. Make sure it doesn't decimate.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this personal angle with us. I think the next question, and this is in line with our theme for today's conversation, on how youth voices or young people can shape the parliamentary agenda in Nigeria. This question is about, what are some of the ways your committee, as chairman of the youth committee, of the Committee of Youth in Parliament, what are some of the ways your committee is working to strengthen engagement between young people and the legislature, which is the House of Reps now in this context?
Yes, one of the things we're trying to do is this community engagement we're coming up with very soon now. As you can see, we've started, the president has inaugurated the planning committee for the youth conference, and which our plan now is to ensure that during the youth conference, we're able to gather enough policies and bills and motions to ensure that are tailored towards the young people, both in governance and outside governance. All young people are that is the major aim of this conference that's coming up. So we are in the planning stage. Very soon we'll start rolling it out. In a couple of weeks, we'll roll it out until how it's going to be, how it's going to unfold during a couple of weeks. So that's the major thing we're doing. As a that is a major that's one of the that's one of the mandates of my committee, to ensure that there are seamless policies between the people and the legislator. So this conference that we're about to do is like the major thing that our committee is coming up with. And I want to beg all Nigerians to please be ready and be involved in this, because this is what's going to shape what we're going to do in the nearest future.
Amazing. Yes. And I mean, just as you said, the National Youth Conference, this will be the first time we're having something like this. Is a historic event. And so we're looking forward to ways young people can basically plug into this. Okay, so I have a quick follow-up question. I think my thoughts is, if a young person now, think of a young person anywhere, Jos, in River State, in Kaduna, has an idea, and they're wondering how they can engage someone who can be a voice for young people, and you being one of the major voices for young people within the House of Reps. What way do you think you can get in contact with your committee, and how can they get involved with the work that you're doing currently?
Please, sorry, come again, please.
Sure, yes, please. No, so I was saying, if a young person, and I'm saying it could be anywhere from around the country, right, is looking for a person within the House of Reps to communicate an idea and issue a concern that they have, and they want to contact your committee, what way can they, get in touch with your committee? That's the Committee on Youth in Parliament.
No, that's very easy. Just send me a letter to the National Assembly. My office is suite 3.30. Okay. Just put my name, Chairman House Committee on Youth in Parliament, suite 3.30, and send me the or send me whatever you want to send, or my email address, Olamijuwonlo Alao Akala @gmail.com.
Okay.
And direct.
They get direct access. Okay.
Direct access, straight.
Amazing.
Email is faster and better.
Amazing. Okay, thanks. The next question, and maybe in a couple of questions, we'll then open up the mic for a couple of people to ask questions. Some people are also going to be able to drop questions on LinkedIn or YouTube, wherever you're watching this. I think the next question is, how does your committee sort of like protect and advocate for the rights of young parliamentarians? Because I mean, we know about the Not Too Young to Run Act that has helped for many more young people to get into politics and public leadership at the national and subnational levels. And I'm thinking now about young parliamentarians, because I know that there are a few young parliamentarians currently within this current assembly. What are some of the ways your committee protects and advocates for them? And how do you also ensure that their voices are heard during, there's parliamentary debates or conversations that bills and acts that basically come up within the House of Reps?
Yes, thank you so much. As a forum, yes, our voices have been heard. We lend voices towards motions and bills that will feel that will help the nation, not just the young ones in general, because at the end of the day, the country is not just for young ones, for Nigerians as a whole. So make sure we lend our voices to enough of the policies or matters or motions that come on the floor of the House as a body, as young parliamentarians. But then again, as lawmakers, 360 of us, we are all individuals, which individuals have their own mindsets and what they want to say sometimes that are different from maybe being in a group or being as a whole and everything. So then again, we've also, right now in front of the speaker, we have the Youth in Parliament Forum that we're setting up, that will be about the speaker, which brings together all the parliamentarians, young parliamentarians in both national and state assemblies. We recently all the assemblies together so that we can all come together and have a young parliamentarians conference where we can sit together and see just what we just spoke about now, and come together with a robust document or something to help us as young parliamentarians and to make it easy for other young people to come into governance and stay in governance, and also to form up, to be able to form policies also within ourselves. Like you said, like the not too young to run bill. We need to know, okay, this bill has been passed. After this bill, what next? What are we looking at next as young parliamentarians that this bill has helped into this position that we are in? So we have to look into that and ensure that, but we have to look into it collectively. You cannot just look into it from the federal level. We have to ensure that we look at it both federal and state level. That's why the YIPF is being formed. The Youth in Parliament Forum, yes, is being formed so that you can carry everybody along and ensure that we deliver on our mandate.
Amazing. Thank you. Thanks a lot for that response. I think the last question I have before I open this up to the audience and see whatever questions that we might have is that, So you mentioned the youth confab as one of the major things that are going to come up, and you've also like implored that young people keep an eye out on this as one of the ways to engage. But are there currently any other bills or motions that are currently in the pipeline that you think young people should also focus on? Because like most times what happens is that bills get announced in the House. It's when they've gone through second reading, you know, they're asking the president to sign. Then people now say, where did this bill come from? You know, everyone starts arguing on social media. You know, so most bills go under the radar. So are there any of those kind of bills that you think?
There's one, the constitutional review, very important.
Okay.
The constitutional review is being handled by the Deputy Speaker of the House.
Okay.
It's a very important bill that is very essential, very, very essential that the young ones have to follow, because it's a bill that shapes everything that we do. It shapes the entire constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So that's a bill that I feel they should focus on as young people. Then another bill is the independent candidacy.
Okay.
That one is being pulled by Honorable Akinwotimi. I feel that bill is going to be it's going to help young ones also, not just young ones, even people that feel, because sometimes to get get tickets from party might be difficult because you have to go through a lot. But if you're sure of yourself and you're sure of your area, you know that you can win this vote. You know you have the popular vote, you have the people out, and you know the people who vote for you. Why not come out as an independent candidate? Why must you use a party structure? You can come out as an independent candidate, talk to INEC, meet the requirements, and you are set to go. So those are the kind of bills I want them to look up to and look at. Thank God the tax bill has gone. But then again, another bill I want that has passed since, but I just want the young ones to look at it again just for implementation, is the PIA bill. You understand? The PIA bill that was passed during the last the ninth
Petroleum Industry Act, right? The Petroleum Industry.
Yes, the Petroleum Industry Act. There's a lot of there's actually lacuna, a lot of implementations that have not been done and have not been met on that bill. And I think if the people don't speak up, then there will be a lot of problem. Then also, I just want the youth to always have a constructive way of doing things, of ensuring that they get their message passed over to the government. So you can just look at the bill, the social media bill, that to social media bill. I think they should put their eyes on it very well to ensure that their voices are not cut off, and they know that whatever the government is proposing is in favor of them. They should put eyes on that bill. Not that when the bill is now passed, they're like, oh, the government has infringed on their rights. They need to follow that bill from the beginning to the end. And so many other bills like that. I'm sure because of this question you just asked me now, I will make it an effort for every month to pilot bills.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's just me or we've lost Honorable.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Sorry. You were just making a commitment. Sorry, the internet was.
I'll be piling up bills that I feel that young ones should focus on.
Okay.
But I'll post on my X page and on my social media handles that they should focus on and ensure that they follow and make sure that voices are heard through those bills, that is not just passed anyhow.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I mean, for those of us at the Community of Practice on Youth, we'll be looking forward to that resource. Once you share that, we'll happily share this with our community as well and get many more young people to be able to push this out there so that we are all informed. Thank you for that commitment. We're just checking out a couple of questions. We have questions from Twitter. I would shortly invite a few people to speak, but there are some people who are just saying well done. And thanking the Honorable. There's a question here. Someone's asking, how is your office supporting the national youth policy? I think this is from Joshua Alade. How is your office supporting the national youth policy? There's a new national youth policy that's being drafted. Is there any work that is being engaged with your office on this?
Yes. Not my office is just, we're trying personally in the office to see what we want to. I will support them in the drafting, because the policy is being done by the executives, So there's nothing we can really do until we're involved in it and called to it. But I guess after we finish drafting it and it's being done, it will be passed over to us. But we'll now be able to have our inputs and everything. But right now it's being talked by the executives and we're yet to have our input in it.
Okay.
I guess the input in it will be part of this the confab that is coming up. So that everybody's input too can be put into it.
Added. Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Then the second question is also about the confab. The person says, what does the confab seek to address? Would it address the cost of living crisis, especially with food, housing, and jobs? Are these some of the things that will be on the agenda?
Yes, it would address it, because that's why we're trying to ensure that we ask ourselves and talk to ourselves, like bring up ideas. Sometimes not only the government that feels that this is the only thing, this is the way. We as young people too can also come up together, put ourselves together and say, okay, how can we help ourselves? Like there's this program I watched that changed my mindset of things, The Men That Built America. It show you that it was individuals that made America what it is today, not the government. Government just stood up and started doing taxing, or started putting tax on what they are doing. It came up as a regulator after the people had put things in place. So we have to put things in place, you understand, as people, as young people. So this is what the confab is trying to address. So address that, okay, this food inflation that is happening, what is the cost of food inflation? What do you think we can do to it? Because I keep telling people that Nigeria, as it's created, it's if we look at it holistically, the people that created Nigeria, I don't think they created Nigeria to succeed. You understand? Because seriously, but
why do you think so?
We now have to make it succeed, because if you look at it, funny enough, where are you from? I'm from
River State.
River State. You're from the south.
Yes, south.
The south, you and your neighboring village, I always will have conflict.
Loggerhead.
Loggerhead. That is still from the same south. Now imagine with your southeast brother, or your southwest brother, or your northeast, or your northwest, or your north. Same thing in the southwest. Ordinarily, or you're to Bumosho there. I don't know you're from Oyo, I'm from Bumosho. We don't want to agree first. Okay, I'm Yorubas first. No. So now imagine the six of us. Now imagine over 200 tribes
together.
So what we have is we have a president that comes sometimes. The president that comes sometimes that now wants to, okay, I'm now where are my people? That's why we keep seeing this news of when there's an Hausa man, there's Hausa people. When there's Yoruba man, there's Yoruba people. When there's South man, there's South people. When there's because everybody wants to favor their own side.
Yeah. So we basically need a nationalistic kind of thinking. It's all of us, not just our own individuals.
Not just our own nationalistic kind of thinking. That's why these are the things that's why we're going down to the grassroots, so that we can bring different issues from different places and solve it individually. Say, Lord, because see, the issue that is disturbing the youth in the south is even the issue that is disturbing the youth in the southwest or in the south. But the only thing that the result is the same thing, which is hunger or no economic power.
The
result, yes, but the solution is the same thing. The solution is totally different. That's what we need. Those are the issues that the confab will address, because we're going down to the grassroots. We're going to hold this confab, ensure that when all this confab in every kind of Nigeria to show participation. You understand? So this is what we're going to address. So that's why I said Nigeria is the way Nigeria is built. So that's why we need to understand that we address it from the beginning.
Yes, I think I just lost you briefly. Okay, yes, thanks. Thank you so much. Okay, so I have a few people who have questions. Just quickly to mention that if you're watching this on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you are, feel free to drop your question on that platform. We have a few more minutes with Honorable before he leaves, because we know he has a very busy schedule. But I would now move to the people who, because the dream for this Youth Town Hall is that we want to be able to create a platform where young people can ask questions directly to policymakers. On any other day, because of how busy policymakers are, they might not get this chance. But I mean, with this NESG Youth Town Hall, we can get young people that particular chance to be able to do that. So I want to call on, I have some of them already in here. John Bess, are you currently here? Here on the Zoom platform. If you are, can you go ahead with your question? Yeah. Yeah, can IT just help me give John Best? John Best is here. Can you just get the right to speak so he can just quickly unmute and ask Honorable his question directly? While John Best is getting ready, I also have I have somebody else. I have Jerry Eziowoma as well. Jerry Eziowoma would also be able to unmute and ask questions. John Best, have you gotten the mic? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay. So my question, thank you so very much, Honorable Ayodeji or Akala, Honorable Akala. Thank you so very much for the insightful session. And I mean, it feels really great that you are sharing all of these with us. I mean, beautiful. Thank you so much. My question is very simple. John Best, to change my name. All right. My question is just very simple, and it is about how the youth voice matter. Because we're talking about how the voice of the youth here. Now we've seen instances beyond what anyone would ordinarily or may not even in the widest imagination think would happen. And when the youth, in the country, then when the youth attempt to make their voice heard through available tools and platforms, the same youths are silenced, or maybe if I should be modest, attempts are made to what? To silence the youth for obvious reasons. Now, in this case, Honorable Akala, sir, how would you say, how can these same youths' voices be said to matter when they see something ugly, when they see something not so beautiful, not so pleasant, not so okay with them, and they want to, as youth, vibrant, they want to use the available means to express themselves, for the government to actually know, for the government to heed to their cry and all of that.
Okay.
Attempted to be silenced. So how would you say that, with all of these things, that the youth voice still, matter? Or would you say it matters in some cases, but in some other cases, it does not matter? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Just to quickly say before you respond, Honorable Kala is also a young person just like us, so let's keep that in mind as we ask this question and find this as an avenue to co-create solutions with him. So over to you, Honorable Kala. Okay, go on.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go on, sir.
Okay, thank you, John Best, for the question. One issue that we have is this our wokeness that we are trying to bring up to ourselves now. We're trying to embrace this new woke generation, and we keep forgetting that the people that are up there that we're trying to communicate to are people of the older generation, people that they put a lot of things that the woke generation we don't really put a lot of thinking into, but they put all their thought into it, and we try to put our wokeness up onto them, because most of these things that happen, why I said the youth voice matters is because you see that anytime we speak in a way that we speak respectfully, we speak in a way that we try to convey our message in a peaceful manner or in a manner that is lawful, you see that it always passes through, unless it's a matter of when we start trying to fight or force our way through. Like the NSAS issue that time, it's a very, very sad issue. When that issue happened that year, I tried to reach out to one or two people that was like, okay, see, form a college of leadership. If you say that one, there's no leader. Any government in power will use that as an avenue to hijack it. You understand? Any government in power, because no government in power wants a protest. No government in power wants a protest. They always find a way to quell a protest before it starts. So they look for the tiniest of the excuse to just kill that protest Or when you just say something on social media, next thing they tell you is defamation. Before they've carried you, they tell you defamation. So we have to find a way to convey our message in such a way that even them will be scared to touch you. Not every time we have to bring up this our new wokeness and bring it up to, because the people who are trying to go against, people are trying to tell them that, okay, we don't like what you are doing. They are ready to fight us back too. They want to fight us back too. So we have to give them every reason not to be able to fight us back. You understand? And if once you are doing a protest and there's a political figure in front, that's no longer a protest. It's become a political struggle. You understand? Not to mention names, you get, but you're doing a protest, but the person in front is maybe a presidential candidate or something. You know, it has become one-sided. It's no longer the protest of, okay, these are real concerned young Nigerians that have stood up. Nobody knows who is sponsoring them. Nobody knows where they're coming. Maybe they're gathering their money together. They've started doing it peacefully. They've done all because you don't need approvals for protests or all those things. All those things are lies. Just find what you need to do and do it peacefully. Do it peacefully. Convey your message. And there are people like us that will now fight for that thing to happen. People like us that will have no reason but to fight for it. The young of us we say we have to fight for this because they've done what they need to do. But when there's a mistake, when you now start putting a little bit of insult, start putting that, then we've put a crack in the wall for the lizard to enter. And once there's a crack in the wall, and once the lizard enters, it's now be difficult. For you know what's happening, you start saying, with defamation of character, we've done this, we've done this. So we need to understand that the people who are dealing with, so we have to deal with them accordingly.
Amazing. Thank you. Thanks. That's a very good response. And I like that you kept saying we as well, because I mean you're a young person and you're a voice for young people in the House of Reps. We have 2 quick questions. I'll just be taking them really quickly so you can keep the answers quite short. There's one here from an attendee saying, what with these policies of the current government, what and how do you think the system is going to help young people? Because I mean, according to the attendee, there are many young people who are silently in pain and suffering. What do you think this will help youth in the future? I think the person is basically just asking around what policies currently in government. I would
love that's another thing I would love young people to do is please follow up with the Ministry of Youth Development, follow up with SMIDAN, follow up with there are a lot of youth programs that are going on. I think what we'll do again is we'll try to see how we also as parliamentarians can push for these things to push out there, because there are a lot of funds, this National Youth Funds, the loans, a lot of SMEs, business funds that are being pushed out there. But I think it's more of information. More information so people understand that, okay, these things are out there for us to access, and they're not hard to access. It's just information, just knowing when and where to access it. Most of these things are online. You don't need to know anybody. You don't need to know you're honorable. Just access it and see. A lot of us now, what happens to we young ones is this quick money thing again is our problem also. All of us, it affects all of us. All of us want to quickly make it, want to quickly get this. No. We don't want to put in a little tiny bit of work, because the generation now is you press your phone, everything happens now. Some of these things you need to leave your comfort zone. You need to go to the ministry, go to get these things done, move, try to see who you have to see. You have to move. And a lot of things, and these policies, all of these policies are done. So imagine the tax bill that went now. This tax bill we just passed not long ago. All it does is favors the young person, because it favors people that are startup businesses, favors low income earners. And look at who most people that want to start up business now, mostly young people that are just leaving schools, who are just coming out of colleges, who are just coming out of their parents' house. You get SMEs and all that things. So a lot of policies are out there right now that are favoring the young people that this government is putting out there. Say things will become difficult in the beginning, but things are already becoming stabilized, because this is the truth. This is where we are. A lot of things have been happening in the past. Subsidizing petrol, subsidizing cement, subsidizing dollars, subsidizing almost everything was subsidizing. So why do that? Why? So now this is our reality. So it's like we're building from the scratch. That's why things seem the way they are. It's like we're building from the scratch. That's why you see, that's why I keep telling the young ones too. We have to ask questions at the state level too, not just the federal level, because all these monies that are being mopped in are being shared to the states and the local government. And if the state and local government are doing what they ought to do, as at when they ought to do it, there'll be less pressure on the federal. Because the federal is not really supposed to be doing most of the things that it's doing, but the way we are structured in Nigeria, everybody looks at the federal. Look at the amount of money. When I was a local government chairman, we used to collect less than 100 million per month, which will still, the governors will take charge of it. But now the local government is getting close to 500 million.
Directly, yeah.
Yeah, so we need to ask questions back to the down road. I'm a legislator, you understand? And as a legislator, I have no purse, nothing. All I have to do is just my voice and try and see how I can lobby for things to be brought down to my constituency. But the people with the purse, we need to also ask them the question that what are they doing? What is this? What are these monies? How are these monies being expended? Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I see we have about just 19 minutes left on this call. I'll just take the next few questions so we can just go really, really fast. There's a question, there's a follow-up question to what you were speaking about earlier about how we can engage meaningfully and how we ensure that there are no cracks in our engagement so that people don't take us off course. So this question is, what's your advice to young people on the best approach when trying to communicate their issues to government that will not antagonize government, but also would encourage government to want to engage?
I love this last thing that happened some days ago. But like I said, management is always an issue among us, the young ones. So now there was this 30 days of rant that happened. So I was telling some young people that I was like, see, try and maybe even if it's I can't do it. I would have loved to do it, but I think I'm complacent because people be like, oh, you're APC, you are part of the government, so I'm complacent already. But I'd have still loved to do it, but I don't believe I'm complacent. But if I see the support, definitely I'll still do it. Be on live. Maybe a group of two or three. Two is enough. 1, 2, 3 people. Just be there. Let the young people come in on the live. You understand? And rant. Do your 30 seconds rant, and from that form a policy. And now invoke force it on we the legislators, the young legislators that are there. You see, we have no choice but to receive it and ensure that we push that thing in and your voice be heard. You see, now you're using the system for the system. You understand? You're not fighting the system. You're using the system to do what the system needs, but you're doing it the proper way. You understand? Because now all those runs that happen now, they've happened and what's going on now? What has the run turned into? What's happening is there's been a collation of it, and after that collation, you now say, okay, this is what people spoke about the most. This is what people spoke about the most. This was the most thing spoken about. Oh yeah, the smart ones among us, because it affects everybody. They form a policy. After that policy note, maybe they say, okay, we want to see the young parliamentarians. We have no choice. It's public.
That's smart, yeah.
It's public. You've said it publicly. We will not say that we dodge. We can't dodge. We'll come out, we'll collect the policy documents, we'll ensure that we push it. You understand? Because at that point, you have no choice. You've called us out, and we have to work.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
thank you.
This is very good idea. About. You can also look for different ways to try and, harmonize all these things. And the way we have thought about it now as a government is this confab that we're about to do.
Okay.
You get, whereby that's why we're ensuring that, please, we're trying to be possible to ensure that this confab gets down to the grassroots so that everybody is involved. So that we can tailor the policies to each constituency.
Thank you so much. I'll just take two or three more people to just ask questions directly to you, sir. I have Jerry Eziowoma. Jerry, do you want to unmute and quickly ask your question? This is a chance to speak to the Honorable directly. Yeah, go on.
Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable. I've listened to you. Thank you for the good work you are doing. My question is all about these state youth parliaments. Some states enacted laws to create state youth parliament. But I've observed that the sustainability of these youth parliaments is not guaranteed because of policy, somersault, government, the various government with their visions. So I don't know your office as the chairman on youth and youth in parliament. Is there any way they can have a collaboration on seeing how this youth parliament can be sustainable? That's the question. Then secondly, I'm looking at the youth programs of the government. You say it's not that impactful, especially the one for entrepreneurial empowerment of youth. You see, they will just bring out items and then give to them. At the end, no monitoring, no evaluation. We don't see the impact of this empowerment program. So I don't know if this forthcoming youth confab has an agenda towards that, or how can we see these programs being effective? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Like I said, this is why the confab is, Mr. Jerry. Thank you for the question. This is why the confab is, so that these such ideas that you've said now will be said there. How monitoring will be for all these things that have been given out, and so forth and so on. The state youth parliament. I'm a federal legislator, so it's difficult for me to dabble into state youth parliament. Like you said, each state have their own laws, which have created these things. But we as a federal, we have the National Youth Parliament, NYP, which yes, which I have a control over, which is under the Minister of Youth Development. So that one is a different ballgame. But the state one is it's very difficult for me. So what's going to happen now is that, like I said earlier on, we formed the Youth in Parliament Forum, which consists of also the state legislators. So when we bring them on board, we'll ensure that we use the forum as a fulcrum to ensure that we get those what you just said now into it as a solution for the state youth parliament to exist and have a joint law, that's a joint policy that sticks all of them together in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory also. Not just 36 states, also by the grace of God. So that's what we're looking into when we sit as a forum.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable, for that response. One final question. Let's just give me a sec. Let me check who this is. Oh, I have Moses Abia. If Moses Abia isn't here, Ali Smart. Ali Smart, do you want to take your question? Ali Smart. Okay, Ali Smart isn't here. I can see him here on the space. I also have Razak, Abdul Razak Balogun. Do you want to take your question? So that this becomes the final question before we wrap up. Yeah, so IT, help to get Razak up. Razak, Ali Smart, or Usman, and any of them who are here, so they can just quickly take their final questions. Okay, Razak, I can see that you've been added. Do you want to quickly unmute? Take a question. I think maybe he's experiencing tech.
This our confab also is just a way for us to share ideas to ensure that we develop policies to ensure that, like, for example, now, I personally I keep talking about NYC. I'm not a fan of the way NYC is being run.
Me too, actually. Me too. I agree.
I'm not a fan of it. You get, so
I agree with you.
Yeah. It's an alternative we should talk about it. I believe you can see, if you want to look for artisans now, you look for this. If you go to foreign countries, for it to call an artisan, you must be a rich person. You must have money. Because why? Because those people are experts. They know what they're doing. If you call a plumber, if you call a painter, if you call a carpenter, you know you're going to pay top-notch money because you know what they know what they're doing. They're certified and all things like that. They're not just because we've just made them be like illiterate and things like that. So I believe NYC to be a way to build to have a capacity building for people. If you say NYC, and after the 3 weeks, everybody's now looking for posting. Post me here, post me there, post me there. that really what it's for? How is that helping our economy? How is that helping us in any way? I believe after the 3 weeks, we should have training centers. You choose what to be trained in. Choose an handiwork or something. Be trained for the next 9 months. Be trained properly. After that, you'll be given a grant. You can choose to either, whoever choose to follow that will be given a grant. You'll be given a grant to go and start up. If you choose to follow, fine. Choose not to follow, you can find your way to go and do something else you want to do. But you that, okay, after that 9 months, a lot of people will choose to follow the level. By that, we're building a class. You know, we're building back the middle class, the skilled middle class.
The vocational group.
Vocational club. We're building them back to be moving up. Not this one that just everybody wants to be posted to. I was supposed to post me to Abuja, post me to
Lagos,
post me to this office. I think we should have it structured. That's just my own opinion. So
Thank you. No, I agree with you.
Talk about in the confab to see how we structure this thing to be able to really impact people's lives. Yes.
No, amazing. On this point, Honorable, I actually 100% agree with you. I actually think that vocational education is something that's missing currently in our education system. And I think that the NYSC is one of the spaces that we can really use to bring that back. It's sad that people have to go look for tilers in Sierra Leone and
you get what I'm saying. Go there,
Benin Republic and stuff like that.
Neighboring countries,
neighboring countries. Yes, I think we can find those. We can source those skills in house. Okay, Razak, can you unmute now? I saw you were having issues unmuting, just so that we can have this.
Yes, I can. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon. I can hear you also.
Good afternoon, Honorable Akala. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for honoring our invitation as well. My name is Abdurazak Balogun, and my question really has to do with youth in politics. As a young person yourself, what advice would you give young people who are also seeking to enter into politics? And in terms of the challenges you faced yourself when you were entering into politics, how did you overcome them? And what advice would you give young people coming into politics?
Sorry, please come again. The network skipped for a minute. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay, no problem. So I'll repeat myself. So I said, as someone who entered politics at a young age, right, what advice would you give young people who are interested in also entering into politics?
Yes, to be active. That's just it. Just be active in your community. Sometimes it's not always about the money, but yes, money, because unfortunately for us in Nigeria, we made politics so expensive. We made it so, not just the political class, even but the people. Because if you go somewhere to talk about politics now, the demand is so much from you, even as a legislator. So the government, just a vicious circle, they made politics so inexpensive, very, very expensive. But then, before we even talk about the expensiveness of politics, you need to be seen. You need to be seen in your constituency. You need to be seen at grassroots level. For example, now you want to run. Let's for example, you are from, let's say you are from Ikeja, or you are from let's use somewhere like Ikorodu. You're from Ikorodu, or you get it's not because when it's time for campaign, or you not go there and start making noise. No, from now you get yourself seen and attend maybe landlord meetings, attend community meetings, attend community debriefings, be part. Let them know you. Let them feel your impact in things that they are doing in the community to ensure that the community grows. Not just when it comes to campaign, you also want to join them, also want to join campaign. Then through that, you ensure that you know the stakeholders of the area. Once you know the stakeholders of the area, of any area you're in, and you want to run in, you engage the stakeholders. So all these things now do not need cash. All these things that I'm telling now just need your behavior. Just need just need you to as a person. Just needs your integrity. That's all you just need at this point. You don't need money to spend now, but you just need to because there's this fear of young people, because the young ones of these days, after our generation, we are not, all of us are not scared to ask questions. You get, they're not scared to ask. When we were growing up, we couldn't ask some questions you could not ask, but now generations we have now can ask any kind of questions. So that those kind of things bring fear to the people, to those other generations, like I said earlier. So you have to find a way to engage them to ensure that there's trust in they trust you. They understand that you really truly have the interest of the community at heart. At that, it's easy for you to sell yourself to any political party. And also, like I said earlier on, talking about independent candidacy, if you're able to sell yourself properly and we're able to pass that bill, if that bill goes through by the grace of God, and you're able to sell yourself to your community, and your community likes you as a person, that this person can do it for us, this person can make it done for us, then why not? That's why you say that in some states, in some places, you say that where maybe a whole state of PDP, you say that there's one DPP there, or one because that person, just because they're doing independent candidacy, he has to use a party, so he used DPP, but he won not because of the party, he won because of himself, because he was voted for, because people loved him, and they made sure that, okay, this guy, there's something he's doing. So that's just all. Community engagement is the most important thing in politics. That's the first thing you need to learn. Community engagement, not just join from the top. And now there are different ways of joining politics. The one I just said to you now is electoral politics. That is, you're trying to say, okay, you want to join for electoral positions, trying to insert yourself to get elected into electoral offices. Then there's the selective position, whereby you can show, okay, that's you have to be an expert to show how you can impact in some places. Like, for example, how maybe you want to work in a parastatal, you want to be made a minister of solid mineral. Yeah, you don't need minister of this. You have to show minister of finance or CBN governor. You have to have built yourself over the years to ensure that this is what you want, and this is the area where you can deliver, based on doing courses that's leadership courses, or courses that attend to what you want to do, and ensuring that, yes, this is what you want to do, that you want to be on a selective kind of position, not elective. So you have to build yourself in that area. Speaking in public speaking, build yourself in leadership, build yourself in ensuring that, and also linking yourself to the stakeholders, both ways, so that you ensure that in doing that, you can be made to be in political positions. So it's very tricky in both ways, but just like I said, it just has to do with your behavior, has to do with your integrity, has to do with yourself. It has nothing to do with where you're born, or when. Yes, those kind of things can be plays in. That some of us are, yes, we cannot hide from how we're born, or the privilege we have, yes. But then again, it's not really all about that. It's about your own personal behavior, your integrity, how you carry yourself, how you place yourself before these people that you want to serve. So that's just one or two basic places. There's no blueprint really to it. There's no like, this is the blueprint, this is the political you have to go and read, but you just have to sum it all up and ensure that you look at past people's mistakes, look at past people's successes, and sum it up and try and see how you can make your own mark and your own difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Akala. We're wrapping it up here. Thanks a lot for your time. I feel like you're giving us a lot of experiential knowledge, and you've given us this 1 hour to explain to us, your background. You've told us about the work that your committee does. And you've explained to us ways where the National Youth Confab, the forthcoming confab, would help to push youth priorities forward. Thanks as well to the thousands of young people who have joined from across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere, and those who would also listen to this conversation on YouTube. Thank you for engaging, thank you for asking bold questions. This is our first edition. Our hope is that with this town hall will become very frequent and will become a space where young people can fully and boldly engage national leaders and become co-authors of national policy. Let's continue to engage. Let's continue to hold power to account. And most importantly, let's continue to show up and be counted. See you on the next edition of the NESG Youth Town Hall. For now, my name is Ebenezer Wikina. I'm the leader of the thematic group on politics and governance. Thanks everyone. Thank you so much, Honorable.
Thank you so much.